Today, I'm back at Ferrari Maserati of Long Island to check out the new cars they got in their inventory. I know there's a Lamborghini Aventador upstairs, so I can't wait to check that out. So let's go inside and take a look. Like always, let's first check out the detailing building and see what new cars they've got in here. This car here definitely catches my eye. It's the brand new 2021 Ferrari 812 GTS, the convertible version of the 812 Superfast. Since this is a convertible, it is more expensive than the coupe, so the coupe starts at $340,000 and the convertible starts at $355,000. The coupe is lighter, which makes it more desirable for those who like to drive their Ferrari on the track, and it also has significantly more cargo volume given that the rear end doesn't have to fit the roof panel. But if you want the wind in your hair, you have to get the 812 GTS. With the exception of a few special edition models, the 812 GTS is Ferrari's first series production front-engine V12 convertible in 50 years. It has a retractable hardtop that can open and close in just 14 seconds, up to 28 miles per hour. At the rear end, you have two buttresses and a tonneau cover. You also have this electric windscreen that serves as a barrier to the wind, or you can lower it to allow a bit more of the outside in when the top is up. Both the 812 Superfast and 812 GTS have a 6.5-liter naturally aspirated V12 engine that makes 789 horsepower and 530 pound-feet of torque. This is sent to the rear wheels via a 7-speed dual-clutch automatic transmission. The Superfast can go from 0 to 60 miles per hour in 2.8 seconds, and while that's very quick, it still trails the McLaren 720S, which can go 0 to 60 in 2.7 seconds. Ferrari claims the GTS should reach 60 miles per hour, about a tenth of a second behind the Superfast, because of the chassis reinforcements that make the convertible an estimated 265 pounds heavier than the coupe. Standard on both the 812 Superfast and 812 GTS is side slip control, a technology that allows you to really push this car without it punching back. So it's clear that this car is very technologically advanced, and it seems like a lot of fun to drive, especially with the roof down, but I can't figure out if this is matte black or matte blue. When I first walked in this building and looked at it, it looked blue. But now it looks matte black, so I'm not totally sure, but if it is matte black, then it's called Nero Opaco. You have a gorgeous red leather interior with the black cavallino stitched on the headrest. There's tons of carbon fiber on this interior, especially on the steering wheel, or what Ferrari calls the driver zone, and you have the LED shift lights on the top of the steering wheel. There's some more carbon fiber on the center tunnel, as well as near the door handles. And there you've got the famous Manettino dial, which is currently switched to sport mode. You've also got the engine start-stop button right on the steering wheel for convenience, as well as the bumpy road mode button right next to that. On the coupe variant, there was an air duct that ran through the rear wheel arches, but because the 812 GTS doesn't have this, it has an extra flap on the rear diffuser to make up the difference. Now that I'm looking at it in this lighting, it definitely looks like matte black, which looks so sinister on this car, especially with the bright red interior. This is a really nice spec. Here we've got a blue over tan Bentley Mulsanne, and this car is special because it's the flagship of the Bentley range. Here it's got polished wheels. This tan leather interior with the diamond stitching is so beautiful, with the embroidered Flying Bee Bentley logo on the seats, and this nice wood trim on the steering wheel. Such a classy vehicle. And tucked in the corner here is a pearl white Ferrari F8 Spider. Although white's not my favorite color on Ferraris, I must admit their pearl white paints are absolutely stunning. Because this is a convertible, you unfortunately don't get the luxury of seeing your twin turbocharged V8 engine. Moving towards the middle of the rim, this Pista is still here. The Giallo Triplo Strato 488 Pista Spider with the Italian tricolore flag, which looks amazing. With gold wheels and red brake calipers, this is definitely one of the craziest Pista specs I've ever seen. and I'm not sure why it's still here. I'm not sure why this is still here either. The Ferrari Monza SP1 in Rosso Corsa with silver wheels. It's been here for many months, and I'm not sure what the deal is with it, but it's just been sitting here covered. Next to that, we've got a brand new Ferrari Roma in white with black wheels. This is a mid-front-engined Grand Tourer with a timeless design inspired by Ferraris from the 1950s and 60s. It has a 3.9-liter twin-turbocharged V8 engine that makes 612 horsepower and 561 pound-feet of torque. An interesting fact about the Roma is that it has an 8-speed dual-clutch automatic transmission that debuted on the new SF90 Stradale. I think the Roma is appropriately priced, with the starting price of around $220,000. Because this is a Grand Tourer and not a track car, Ferrari treated passengers with more infotainment and connectivity features than some other Ferrari models. So this includes a vertically mounted 8.4-inch touchscreen, as well as a separate screen for the front passenger. And you've also got a 16-inch digital instrument cluster. That instrument cluster actually responds to haptic controls on the steering wheel, which is filled with buttons that you can't see right now because the car is not on. But when you start the car, you'll see a bunch of buttons show up on the screen, and you could press them. They have haptic feedback, and that's how you change the display in the digital instrument cluster. The Roma keeps the physical Manettino switch, but you can't see the drive modes if the car is not on. Believe it or not, this car does have a pair of rear seats that make it a 2+ coupe. However, considering how little space there is back there, I can't really picture a human being sitting back there. The Roma is brand new, so it may still need to grow on some people, but I can confidently say that I think this car is gorgeous. Some people don't agree with that statement though, because they think the Roma looks like an Aston Martin, or just doesn't look like a Ferrari in general. I can definitely see why some people aren't sold on the Roma yet, but I think just give it time and it will grow on more people. Next to the Roma is a Ferrari legend, the Ferrari F40, painted in the iconic Rosso Corsa. It's believed that every F40 that left the factory was painted in this shade of red, and if you see an F40 that's not red, that's because the owner got it repainted after the fact. Of course it looks beautiful in this color, but I really want to see an F40 in blue, specifically a Zerodino and blue TDF. There's even an F40 in blue Posi with a tan interior, and that spec is just gorgeous. Besides red, I've actually seen an F40 in green, Verde Abitone in Greenwich, Connecticut. Since I usually spend a lot of time around modern supercars, it's interesting checking out an F40, one of the most iconic analog supercars of the 1990s. And of course, it is a manual. One of the best parts about this car is the massive rear wing, and also the Lexan engine cover. So as we all know, the Ferrari F50 is the successor to the F40, but some people find the F50 ugly. So I want to know if you guys think the F50 is ugly, or if you think it's beautiful. And would you rather have the F40 or the F50? Here we've got a blue Posi 360 Spider with a tan leather interior and a blue convertible soft top. I love that it has silver wheels because black wheels just would not look good on this car at all. This color is too dark for black wheels, but I'm not really feeling those red brake calipers. And over here we've got a second Ferrari Roma in Nero Daytona. And just like that 360 Spider, this Roma has a tan leather interior. Next to that is a white Portofino, and over here we've got a rather interesting yellow 488 Spider with gray wheels. And here is the Lamborghini Aventador I mentioned earlier. It's the 2019 Aventador S Roadster, one of the most dramatic and visceral Lamborghinis of recent years. It first launched in 2011, nearly a decade ago, and it was the replacement for the aging Murcielago. When it was new, it started around $460,000, but this one here is pre-owned with over 3,700 miles, and the asking price is $439,000. What makes this car so special is its engine. It has a 6.5-liter naturally aspirated V12 engine that makes 730 horsepower and 507 pound-feet of torque. That engine helps this car reach a top speed of 217 miles per hour. If you're ever at a car show and you see a Lamborghini Aventador, you have to make sure you stop and listen to the cold start. It sounds incredible. The sound of the V12 engine is definitely one of the defining features of the Aventador. The Aventador S has a rear wheel steering system as well as an ego setting, which allows the driver to customize the steering, transmission, engine, and suspension responses. It's known for having a single clutch 7-speed gearbox that's absolutely brutal. If you want a supercar that's comfortable, definitely do not get the Aventador. This one actually has a bunch of exposed carbon fiber options that cost upwards of $10,000. So as you can see here, for the rear air intake, you've got carbon fiber, as well as for the side skirts, the mirrors, this piece here, and the front splitter. This specific Aventador has the Dianthus wheels, which are 21 inches in the rear, 20 inches in the front. These are center lock wheels, and they even have carbon fiber center caps. This Aventador also has carbon ceramic brakes. The interior has black leather with red accents and Q Satura stitching, which gives you that diamond pattern on the seats. And it has a transparent engine bonnet. The only thing I don't like about this specific Aventador S Roadster are these Italian tricolore pieces on both sides of the car. It's obviously an aftermarket piece, since I don't think Lamborghini offers something like this from the factory, at least not right here on the door. I just don't think it looks good. Here we've got the AMG GT63S 4-door coupe, next to the SLS AMG Roadster. You also have the legendary Ford GT in red with white stripes, and one of my favorite cars up here, an Arena Red 911 GT3. You've even got red stitching on the interior. Over here we have what appears to be a battle of the specs, two Ferrari 488 Pistas in different specs. Which one do you guys prefer? Yellow with a black stripe or silver with a red and blue stripe? This one's obviously more reserved, a bit more simple, and this one's kind of in your face, bright and loud. Here's a very special car, the Ferrari 430 Scuderia 16M, which is the convertible version of the 430 Scuderia. You've got this cool badge on the back that commemorates 16 F1 Constructors World Championships. You've got a glass engine bonnet, tons of carbon fiber and Alcantara on the interior, lightweight carbon fiber racing seats with mesh, a red Cavallino stitched into the headrest, and a plaque that says 16M Scuderia, a car that's limited to just 499 units. This spec is extra nice because it has an Italian tricolore stripe. So that was my visit to Ferrari Maserati of Long Island. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.